Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pile driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the here comes the here comes the y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my mud on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolf back. What's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Rose Street, RoseStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here for a Week 18. First time ever we can say that. Week 18 fantasy tailgate. As always, joined by my co-host over here, Mr. CJ. How are we doing today, brother?
We're doing good. Ready to be a full-time degenerate today. A little bit more than usual. Firing up a million prize picks.
And that's why we're live here, because we're degenerates. Yes. How many prize picks did you say you got? Like 8 different lineups going, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Had a rough beat last night. Took advantage of the Cowboys lines, which were just incredible, but had Gardner Minshew over like 185 passing yards, and he came up 4 yards short. So it was tough.
Absolutely brutal. From like a $300 payday, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. And I usually do the 3 out of 4, and did the 4 out of 4 because I just felt it was easy.
Yeah. Damn. Brutal. But we'll hit them today. We have some great prize picks for you guys later. That's kind of what this show is going to revolve around, is different betting degenerate stuff that we might do on this Week 18, because we know we can't just sit and enjoy football. We have to put something on the line, of course. I know CJ's getting his prize picks in here. He might mute himself for a few minutes. So while we get ready to figure out what we want to bet on, what player props, what DFS lineups we want to make, and if you do have Week 18 questions, get them on in. We'll answer anything you guys have. Any questions at all. You want to ask some life advice, we're happy to hit that for you too, whatever. We're just going to go through anything today. So what we'll do first is I'm going to cover what the motivation is. I did a whole show with this on Friday with Nat. I'm not going to go in nearly as depth as what me and Nat did, but I'm just going to kind of summarize what teams have stuff to play for versus which teams might be resting their starters. Then we'll also talk about some records and incentives that are going on today. We'll, of course, hit all the injury news. There's still a few things left to figure out. And then we'll give you some of our favorite prop bets, our favorite DFS picks, and, of course, any questions you guys have. You guys are the engine of the show, as you've been all year. I've already seen some thumbs up, some hearts, all that good stuff come in. Thank you guys so much. It does help us to continue to grow and get out to more people. We're still about 15, 20 away on YouTube from our 2K goal. So if you're new here, please consider giving us that sub. We'd love to have that and hit that number. Just love to have you as part of the pack. But let's kind of breeze through some of this quick news as to who's playing, who's resting starters, all that good stuff to help you get your bets ready to go. Ultimately, who's going to be at risk of resting their starters? One is Green Bay. They're a number 1 seed lock. They have already said Rodgers is going to play, but I wouldn't expect more than a quarter. I think him and Devontae Adams might chase a couple Packers personal records. Adams needs like 20 yards or something like that to break Jordy Nelson's record. Wouldn't be shocked to see 2 passes go to Adams, have him both come off the field. Aaron Jones is also questionable with that. I can't imagine he suits up today. I think the only thing to kind of pay attention to there is what is Dylan's role? How crucial is he? I think he is a big part of this team, big part of this offense. But if he gets a full workload all day, if there's some report that comes out in that note, we'll obviously be tracking it. He'd be a monster at 6,200 on DraftKings against a Lions team that gave up 40 points to Aaron Jones in week 2 this year. So keep that in mind, especially if Jones sits and we get a full Dylan. Even maybe look into who the third string might be in that backfield. I actually don't know. I'll defer to you on that one, CJ, at some point. The third string of the Packers backfield. I don't know who that is. Probably 4K on DraftKings and could be getting a significant amount of work. That's the type of stuff we got to think about for DFS today. I wish I had that one written down because as I'm talking about it, it could be a big play. Cincinnati's also likely to be resting starters after Kansas City win. They have nothing to play for. They can't really advance much at all. Burrow's already ruled out. Mixon's already ruled out. Jamar Chase is 11 yards away from the rookie record. Wouldn't be shocked if he plays, gets that catch, and then heads over to the bench. We saw that last night with Devonta Smith. He broke Deshaun Jackson's Eagles record, and then he went right over to the bench.
Did you see Jason Kelsey? So he's had this Iron Man streak of 1,200 games or something, whatever it is, 150 games.
Yeah.
And he came in first snap and then walked right off the field.
Love it. That's the dangers of playing DFS in this week, but also the excitement, the thrill to potentially gain an edge knowing who might be doing shit like that. And as we saw last night, Philly and Dallas already kind of were up and down. But you saw it with Dak Prescott, 5 fucking touchdowns. So there's also people chasing records today, and that's really important. So let's look at a handful of those, but be careful of your Packers. Be careful of your Bengals. Other than that, every team has some sort of seeding potential on the line. You could see like a blowout between the Panthers and the Bucs, and then maybe they rest Brady in the second half. But generally when these blowouts happen, it's because they've already racked up a shitload of points and done their damage for you. So yes, the ceilings are a little bit more capped in those style of games. So keep that in mind with like the Bucs facing the Panthers could easily blow them up. The Titans facing the Texans, even though the Texans beat them last time they met. So you never really know there. The Bills facing the Jets. They need it to take down the AFC East, but they're also facing the Jets. So those are the type of teams that are in these blowout games. The most motivated teams will be the Chargers and Raiders. They're not on the main slate here, but 49ers and Rams battling it out. That's a great game to target today. The Colts are winning in, so Jonathan Taylor, who also has some records on the line, we'll talk about in a few minutes here. And last but not least, Arizona also highly motivated in a potential shootout with Seattle. Their secondary, Arizona has given up the most points to fantasy receivers over the last 5 weeks. It's not even close. It's like plus 19 over expected fantasy points they're adding to wide receivers over the last 2 weeks. It's abysmal. So DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, fire them on up. That game could be awesome. So those are the games I'm looking at to summarize that again for DFS. Arizona, that whole division really. Cardinals versus Seahawks, and then Rams versus Niners, both 4 o'clock games that I'm heavily targeting today. And last but not least, the Saints highly motivated. If they win and the 49ers lose, they'll get in. They're facing Atlanta. So I love a Saints onslaught of like Kamara, Taysom Hill. My lock QB of the day is Taysom Hill.
I have before the season, I bet the Saints under 9 wins. So I'm either going to win or push. The push isn't bad, but I prefer the win today.
So if they lose, you win?
Yeah.
Against the Falcons, good luck.
That was brutal. Like the Bucs win kind of screwed me. But
yeah, and the Packers. I still can't even understand the Saints team. They like destroy the Packers and Bucs, and then Sean
Payton killed it this year.
Yeah, he should deserve it. Yeah, right. He deserves Coach of the Year consideration. Probably. Well, I think Vrabel deserves to win it. Given what he's done with
Zach Taylor too.
Zach Taylor's done a great job. Yeah, give it to Vrabel in my opinion, but we will see. In terms of contracts and incentives that we saw again last night, Dak throwing for 5 touchdowns. I wasn't even aware of that one. And I'm actually behind the 8 ball a little bit on team potential records. So if you guys know of any, and CJ, if you found any too, please feel free to add in after I rip through some of these ones. Because I'm not very aware. I didn't know Dak was 5 touchdowns away from breaking Troy Aikman's record, or whoever it was that had the Cowboys touchdown record. I assumed it was Aikman. No, it's Tony Romo who had it. I didn't know that was even something that would be chasing.
Fun fact. Me and my dad were watching that last night, and he was like, "Oh, is it Aikman?" And then I looked at Aikman. Aikman's season high for touchdowns is 23. How pathetic! That
is pathetic. I would. Yeah.
He's like 15th best season in Cowboys history.
That is pretty pathetic. You just I assumed it was Aikman, and they put up Romo last night. Like, oh, I guess. In terms of these records, though, and I got to shout out really quickly on Twitter. Anthony Amico did a great job of capturing all this. A great follow in that sense. I'm just going to literally be reading off his tweets here, just to kind of remind you guys of who could be chasing records today, which ones I buy into, and which ones I don't. The one I buy into the most, and the one to start with as he starts, and his follow is Amic STA. If you want to follow him, AMIC STA, a good follow there for any of the Wolfpack. But some records here to really quickly take a note of is Cooper Kupp needs 12 receptions to break Michael Thomas's record and 136 receiving yards to break Calvin Johnson's record. I get it. 18 games, asterisk, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter to me. I care about fantasy stats today. And I think they're going to absolutely feed them against this destroyed, decimated 49ers secondary. Down all of their slot corners. They have a practice squad person coming in today. It's going to be a joke. It's going to be a bloodbath. Cooper Kupp is also 171 yards away from going for 2K. Would not be shocked to see them force feed that. The Breakfast Club, baby. Love that narrative. I'm hammering Cooper Kupp, 9,700 DraftKings. I don't care how expensive it is. He should be 12K. He's going to be going bananas today. The only risk of that is you might be missing out on a big Jonathan Taylor day. He is 266 yards away from getting to 2K. That sounds outlandish. It sounds insane. Last year, this week, he ran for 250 against this exact Jaguars team. So it's not that insane. It's not that far-fetched. And they have motivation, as we said at the beginning. They win. They are in. I love that Colts team in general as like a playoff team. I'm terrified of it. They already beat us as a Patriots fan, but I think that team can make some real noise in the playoffs.
I hope they match up with the Chiefs. I feel like they can smash the Chiefs.
I would love that. They could definitely smash those little pussies in Kansas City. Sorry, Mitch. Love you. I'm sure one of the few fans tuned in today. I'm not shitting on his team, but either way, love you, Mitch. But Jonathan Taylor definitely could have a blow-up day. He's 9K on DraftKings, so it's tough to have them both. I'm leaning on the side of Kupp if I'm going with one of the two. So keep that one in mind. Brady has a lot of contract incentives today, 488 yards. If he does that, he'll be the NFL record holder for yards in a season. That'd be a shitload. But honestly, like I wouldn't put it past Arians to go for that today. It is going to be tough though, without AB, without Godwin. Mike Evans is full go though. And I think that guy at 7,100 on DraftKings could be a very interesting play. One of those 3 touchdown Mike Evans days. He himself is 55 yards away from going for 1,000 yards for the 8th straight time, 54 yards rather, 8 straight seasons of it. That's insane. So Mike Evans,
absolute. That's so crazy.
It's insane. Like you kind of forget that he's just been that good because he's just been doing it like year in and year out. So consistent in that sense. We saw this last year. Brady force fed him. I think it was against Detroit. I forget what team it was against. He had a monster day to get to 100 over 1,000 again last year. He's going to get at least 54 receiving yards. I actually don't know what his prop line is on Prize Picks, if he's even on there, CJ, but that would be one I would hammer today. If you want to check what Mike Evans is, it's probably good to check. I know Cooper Kupp's was like 110. That's a huge line.
Cooper Kupp is 9.5 receptions, and I think 110.5.
Like I said, I think they're going to pepper him and try to get those records. So there's better bets, there's safer bets in my opinion on Prize Picks today, but I wouldn't be afraid of those Cooper Kupp lines is because huge as those are.
The Gronk lines are pretty nice too for his $1 million incentives.
He was the next one I was going to get to. Yeah. But yeah, let me know when you find Evans because that's going to be, I think, 54 yards. It's probably at like 50.5 or something like that.
No, he's actually at 68.5 receiving yards.
Oh, okay. So a little bit more than I expected.
5 receptions. So
I think he was one that was also a receiving touchdown guy on the, you can pick a receiving touchdown. He's a great bet to find the end zone today. You did mention Gronk, though. Love his Prize Picks today, given that if he gets $500,000 for 55 catches, 750 yards, and 9 TDs on the season. Right now, he is at 48, 665, and 6. So he needs 7 catches, 85 yards, and 3 touchdowns to hit 3 separate incentives. The 3 touchdowns would be a lot, but he has had 3 games with 2 touchdowns this year. Wouldn't be shocked at all, especially with all the weaponry dinged up there, to see Brady try to force feed 1 extra touchdown to him or something of that nature. 6,300 on DraftKings. A little rich. I like paying down at tight end today, but there's a lot on the line for Gronk. 1.5 million up for grabs. Not that he's hurting for money after all these, the worst commercial of all time, the USSA. Literally, I don't know if there's a worse commercial than that, honestly, ever.
I agree.
It is so bad.
And they play it like 5 times a game, too.
That's the worst part. It's like, okay, if I had to deal with it like once every couple of weeks, I could probably get over it. But the fact I see it 7 times a game, like, that's Patriots tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Oh, shucks, you figured me out. The worst fucking commercial of all time. If you guys have a worse commercial in mind, please let me know. I don't know what could top that. But a lot of incentives for him. AJ Green, he only needs 75 yards to get a nice $250K bonus. Without DeAndre Hopkins there, I think he could easily go for that in a potential shootout. I love that game just in general. I think the last one here of note is Mark Andrews is 141 receiving yards away from Kelsey's record. That's still a lot, but Huntley's been peppering him, and I love his Prize Picks bet today. 68.5, I believe, is the line for his over-under, which sounds like a shitload for a tight end, nonetheless. He's been over that for 4 straight games. Huntley has been just peppering him religiously. I think his low of the last 4 games is 89 yards. Like, I love that Prize Pick today at 68.5. Pittsburgh has kind of shackled him down well in the past, but this is just a different beast and a different rapport we got right now. So Mark Andrews also at 7,500 on DraftKings, a potential huge edge. He's gone over 29 points in 3 of his last 4 games on DraftKings. So that could be a huge edge for you guys. And he's coming in at low ownership right now too. So keep that in mind. Kyle Pitts is also 59 yards away from Mike Ditka's rookie receiving record for tight ends. So I could see that one happening. He's also dinged up today. He's questionable today. So I wouldn't be shocked if he gets that and he then comes off the field. He's a little bit of a risky play. He's not somebody I'm trying to hammer, but I'm sure his receiving line is under 59 and they're probably going to try to get him there. And the last one is Burkhead snaps total. He has to play 30% of the snaps and he gets 125,000, but it's Burkhead. Like he did win the Millie Maker a couple weeks ago.
He also just got an extension yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, they love him over there. And why not? I mean, he's been playing pretty well. I'm intrigued to see what they do with David Culley. I know some of the news, if it ends up being a light question show or we get through all this and people aren't talking, like there's a lot of rumblings this morning about Mike Zimmer on the hot seat, probably going to get fired. Vic Fangio just got fired, which I was pretty surprised by. You wonder about David Culley now. I've been somewhat impressed with how competitive he's kept such an awful roster. So, I mean, as much as I wanted to shit on that hire and think he was just such a tool move, he's actually been impressed considering what I was expecting. At least he's blown my expectations.
Davis Mills looks good.
I really like Davis.
Kind of figured out. I mean, they're no Lions, but they have it figured out.
I think their offensive coordinator might be sneaky really good too. Like when they had Watson last year, he led the league in passing. They kept their offensive coordinator. I think he knows what he's doing. So intriguing. The Bill O'Brien news. He might be going to the Jags. Like a lot of interesting news for coaching.
I'm a Bill O'Brien guy. So
what'd you say?
I'm a Bill O'Brien guy myself.
Yeah, you think he's gonna have a good revival?
I think he's good. I mean, what he did at Penn State's incredible. That team was like completely decimated after the Sandusky thing.
Yeah,
and he like made them really good, and then I mean he was good at Houston. So
they were competitive each and every year. I actually do think as a coach, he might be. He's
a good offensive coordinator. I would say
because of offensive coordinator would be a great role for him to kind of ease himself back in. But when he took over all the power and got like bloodthirsty and started making roster decisions and stuff, that's when he really kind of got way too in over his head. So yeah. That's all the records I have. I don't know, CJ. I know you're getting prize picks together. You might have missed all the ones I went through there. But is there any like obscure records or team records? Those are the ones I'm kind of behind on. And guys in the chat,
some of the team ones,
like, team records.
I'm not too sure about the team ones. There are some money ones that there's like Marvin Jones needs like 4 receptions.
Oh yeah,
like 750,000. And that's just kind of like betting,
right?
Like ways, but
yeah, his line is 4 catches on prize picks. But again, there's players I'd much rather bet on than Marvin Jones today on prize picks, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'll keep you updated with those. I'll keep looking on Twitter.
Perfect. Alrighty. And in terms of news today, I'll just rip through this real quick, and then we'll give you our favorite prize picks, our favorite DFS guys today, and of course all your questions. We already got 15, 20 questions coming in there. Love to see it. I appreciate that. So we will. It sounds like a couple. I see Jabari here has like actual leagues going. So God bless you. People are still competing in a crazy situation like today. So thankfully, it is really not as crazy as many years of the last week of the season. But again, any Packers, any Bengals, you got to be very, very questionable starting. So we will get to all those questions, I promise, guys. Let me just rip through this news because it might help you with some of your decisions. We got no Lamar Jackson today. He's out, as everybody's probably aware of at this point. Tyler Huntley goes right back into starting, and it's mildly intriguing, under 6K on DraftKings, given they had 35 points just a couple weeks ago. Steelers aren't a great defense right now, so he could be intriguing. Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to play against the Rams. It does take off Trey Lancey, who was one of my favorite plays today at 5,500 on DraftKings. Takes him off the board. I'm kind of going to Taysom Hill anyways at this point, given their motivation, given the Atlanta matchup. I'm kind of locked in Taysom Hill as my QB at 6,200 today. I think he's a great play. I think you can play him with Kamara if you want to. That news, the reason I'd want to play Kamara is if Ingram sits. Unfortunately, that game's not till 4 today, so we won't really know unless anything has come out this morning. So that's one to keep our eyes on. CJ is Mark Ingram's status for today. And the other running back up in the air is James Conner. It seems like they're optimistic about Conner, but they said that last week he ended up sitting. We already know Chase Edmonds is out there, which would make Eno Benjamin a free square type of running back, but it's at 4, so a lot of people might not have that flexibility of shifting to him. He's facing Seattle, though. The most receptions allowed to running backs, the easiest matchup, second easiest matchup behind the Jets. So I do like Eno Benjamin if he is the starter at 4K. And I really like James Conner at 6,300 if he is the guy. He had 21 points last time out against Seattle. Has there been any update on either of those guys, Ingram or Conner, that you've seen today, CJ?
No, haven't seen either.
Yeah, it sucks. They're both at 4. That's 2 of the bigger updates. And really the only updates that we're kind of waiting on at this point, given that Jimmy Garoppolo, as we said, is starting. We've already got that kind of word in there. Goff was listed as questionable, but he's probable. He's probably going to play here against the Packers. You're not starting him, but it does continue to help out. I mean, St. Brown's been great with Boyle. He's been peppering him. So I don't know if it actually helps out St. Brown, but it doesn't really hurt, in my opinion. It might help out Swift, who we saw Goff love to target, but I don't want to go to Swift. Even at 5,900, as talented as he is, I can't trust him. I was all in on him last week, and it cost me a lot of money because I had a great lineup, and he was the one that just tanked me. Unfortunately, if I had done like Eli, I'm living in the past. Let's continue forward. Justin Fields is not playing today due to COVID. Andy Dalton's starting. Again, similar to Goff, it doesn't really matter. I don't think you're going to play Andy Dalton. He is, I think, 5,300. So I guess if you really wanted to punch your QB, you could. But for me, this really boosts up Mooney, who has been peppered 16 target game, 12 target game, 11 targets. He was averaging double-digit targets anytime Andy Dalton was under center this year. He gets Minnesota the most points allowed to wide receivers, the most deep plays allowed to wide receivers. I think it's a huge Mooney day. I love him for my prize picks today. I think it's like a 51.5, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. I have him saved either way. He's one I'm smashing today in prize picks. And it also does help out Montgomery, who does get peppered by Andy Dalton as well. It seems like a very narrow target tree. Allen Robinson was out for some of those games, so I wonder if he dings up those target totals a little bit, but he's just been a mess. I liked your line earlier this morning, CJ, where you're like, 4K Allen Robinson, just one last time to kick us in the balls and make us.
Why not?
Why not?
Or he'll go off for 10 for 160 and we'll be like, oh, we wish this was all year.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we've been waiting for in week 18. That would actually be the ultimate fuck you if he has a classic Allen Robinson, 152 touchdown day, just as a middle finger to us all. But I won't be playing him. I certainly won't be touching him. I will be going in on Mooney a lot at 5,900 on DraftKings and in prize picks at his line. In terms of wide receivers, the biggest news was Deontay Johnson has been activated from the reserve list. I was going to be all in on Claypool at 5,100 on DraftKings with Deontay back. Claypool could still make some big plays against a Baltimore secondary. Most 20-yard passes, most 40-yard passes allowed in the league. So I've kind of attacked that defense routinely throughout the year and to good results. MVS a couple weeks ago as DFS was an awesome play. So you can see Claypool having one of those blow-up days if Big Ben can actually throw the ball downfield. That's a big if. I do like his prize picks at a half interception. I think he'll throw an interception. He's thrown one in 4 out of the last 5 games. So
yeah,
I would expect that.
I love the interception props are great.
Always great. Yeah. So I think Big Ben's a good one to hit that. As we talked about, Evans is full and he's kind of the only wideout left standing. It does mean, what's the guy's name? Cyril Grayson or whatever.
Yeah.
He's mildly intriguing too. I think he's 4,800 though. So he's priced pretty high on DraftKings. He could still blow up. Brady loves the guy, has targeted him routinely the last 2 weeks. So I could see him having.
He didn't even play college football.
Yeah, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a track kid at LSU, and he ended up blowing up on their pro day.
That's insane. That's wild. Because he's making some plays out there. He caught the game winner last week, so keep him in mind as well. It's just a cool story, I guess, and it also could be a decent play. I'd have a hard time putting him over a guy like Gabriel Davis, but also that's why Grayson might win some money, is because I think most people will see him and Davis lined up, and if he outscores him, which he totally could, he did last week, then that might be a good contrarian type of play. You do have Marquise Brown in. I wouldn't go to him today. The other news I actually wanted to check on, CJ, was Robbie Anderson. I don't know. Do they play at 1? They're facing the Bucks. Is that game at 1 or 4 today?
No, it's 4:20.
Damn. A lot of the news we're waiting on just not going to happen.
It seems like all of the ones that really matter for the playoffs are at 4:20.
Which sucks. So yeah, we won't know any of the news, unfortunately. We do have doubtful Emmanuel Sanders, as we just talked about. Gabe Davis, he disappointed last week, but 4,900 on DraftKings against the Jets. He could have 2 touchdowns easily today. His prize picks was 31.5, I think you said, CJ, for Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis, what is receiving yards?
Yeah, his prop
35.5.
35.5. That's a great play as well. I don't have that one locked into mine. I might make a second one though, just to get that one in there. Tony is out. We knew that already. It doesn't matter. Whoever's the quarterback there from Glennon, it's hideous. Traquan Smith removed from the injury report, as was, more importantly, Antonio Gibson not listed on the injury report. 5,800 on DraftKings. He's supposed to be one of the most, if not the most owned running back today. I'm going to be pivoting away from that just because I don't know. He could smash. He's had 20 points in 3 of his last 5. He could have a monster day today. It's against the Giants. We just saw Montgomery pummel them. But I'm going instead to Foreman $100 cheaper. I also pay up a little bit and go to either Elijah Mitchell. I'm having a real hard time deciding on this one. Eli Mitchell or Devin Singletary, both 6K. I can't believe that's even a question like Singletary, but
yeah, I know.
80% of snaps the last 3 weeks.
The thing about Eli Mitchell, though, is Garoppolo's thumb. He's not going to be able to throw the ball, which is just another Shanahan's such a moron. But that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Eli Mitchell today. Yeah,
I do too. He had 27 carries against them last time, a season high, a career high. He should have a big day. I don't know, though. Singletary against the Jets, the matchup's ripe. He has 80% of snaps 3 straight weeks, and he's had 20 fantasy points, I think, in 3 straight weeks. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go to that well. And, of course, he's going to fucking dry up the one time I use him. But a lot of intriguing 6K, 5,800, 5,700. I love Foreman today. He didn't have a prize picks prop, unfortunately. A guy I don't like today is Nick Chubb playing the Bengals. probably their second stringer, so maybe he does go wild. I don't think anyone's going to be in on him on DraftKings, and Kareem Hunt probably not going to play, they're thinking. So he could have a nuts game, but he was just so lightly used on Monday Night Football. I got the heebie-jeebies trying to go to him. I don't really want to do it. We mentioned Mark Ingram, some news we're waiting on. He is questionable, and he did not practice in back-to-back days to close out the week. It seems like he's trending towards out, and that would be big news because Kamara averages 68% of the snaps when Ingram's in. He averages 90% of the snaps when Ingram's out. And he saw 18 of the touches last week, or the carries, and in addition to multiple catches last week. He just becomes an absolute monster workhorse. And against the Falcons, like that could be a Christmas Day of last year where he has 5 touchdowns a few years ago. I wouldn't be shocked to see something like that out of Kamara. Everybody's going to Taylor. He's projected for only 7% ownership as the only back against the Falcons. I think that's a great play today. It's a hard time fitting him and Cooper Kupp in a lineup, so I don't have a ton of builds with Kamara, but I'm trying to make sure I have at least one or two with him in there. I know a guy you're playing today, CJ, is Keyshawn Vaughn against the Panthers. I don't know if I would go there, but it's contrarian. He looked good a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones is out, so what are you thinking of Vaughn? You like him today, huh?
I wouldn't say I like him. I tried to fit in Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor, so I needed some cheap options.
No one.
I feel like it's maybe the worst lineup, but maybe I'll finally win after I'm probably like 2 for whatever 15 this year. It's not so much that I like him. I just think the volume will be there, and maybe he is like third on Brady's totem pole of trust today.
Yeah, could be. Although Le'Veon Bell was getting a lot of targets last time out there. He's 5K as well. So one of those guys is probably going to have a good day today. The Panthers do suck. So there's no doubt about one of them having a good day. It's just a matter of who is it. Do they nibble each other's cheese to the point neither one has a good day? We will find out indeed. And then the last couple quick notes here. Eli Mitchell did practice in full. He's good to go. And anytime he's out there, he gets just fed. I was shocked at how much he got fed last week coming off the 3 games missed. Right back at 20-plus carries. It's awesome for fantasy in that sense. Darren Waller, game time decision tonight. Got a lot of questions about him so far. You got to have a backup plan. You put him in your flex at best. It'd be very nerve-wracking to wait for him. But against the Chargers, the one reason it would be potentially worth is the Chargers are the second most points allowed to the tight end position. So that could be pretty generous matchup for him tonight. Pitts is questionable, as we said, but I expect him to be out there to go for that rookie record. And then David Njoku's probably not playing today, which is good news for Austin Hooper. That's all the news I have, guys. Again, I didn't make banners for it separately because I just wanted to kind of rip through that pretty quickly. Oh, and Jamison Crowder's the only Jets receiver standing, so 4,600 on DraftKings. Maybe he does something. I don't know. But what we want to promote, and then we'll get to all your questions. Thank you so much for your patience out there, guys, because we do actually have some questions here. So we will be sure to hit those in just a few minutes. But Prize Picks, just wanted to promote this one more time. You might have seen it go by on the bottom line. Amazing app, iOS, Android, or the site. All 3 are perfectly clean, easy to use, easy to deposit and take my money. But thankfully, they're not taking my money because I keep winning as a CJ. Up like, what did you say, 1,500 in the last couple of weeks on it? Like killing.
Yeah, I think so. We partnered on December 14th or so. And I looked at my stats yesterday. I've cashed 15 out of 30 and won like 1,600.
That's sick. I love
it.
it.
Actually, the thing too, a lot of people have asked me about withdrawing, and it only took, I think, 4 days. So it's not bad. It goes right into your checking account. So.
Perfect. So yeah, a great company there. They've been awesome to partner and work with. If you use code RSJ, they'll match up to $100 deposit. It's a good way to support your boys. $20+ deposit on your end. We'll get a nice kickback back to us. So we would greatly appreciate if you want to support us, consider using it. And if you want to win money, consider using it. Because again, the lines are very generous, much more generous than your typical prop bet. And the way it works is you can pick up to 5 bets. I always go for 5. You can do 3, 2, you can be a little bit less risky, but I like going to 5. If you get all 5 right, you 10x your money. If you 4 right, you 3x your money. And even if you get 3 right, you still get some money back. So unlike your typical props, when 1 gets knocked off, you can get money even when you get 1 or 2 wrong, which is nice. It's a nice little safety net to have in there. But I think I had 5 today that are definitely going to hit. Famous last words. But I feel better about these 5 prize picks than I have yet. And I've hit a couple pretty good five leggers. I always go for broke. But CJ, do you want to maybe pull up some of your favorite ones first, and I'll go through my favorite 5 for today?
Yeah, so I just posted them if you want to follow us on Instagram. I just did a post for both my top
okay.
four and Wolf's top four.
I'll pull that up while you're talking then. So yeah, why don't you here we go. I'll share the screen. So yeah, check us out on Instagram, Roto Street Journal, of course. And
throughout the day, if I usually sometimes I'll do it by like time slot, but today just with the games being an absolute mess, I kind of mix them around. But yeah, I'll usually post on our story like the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock for some more posts other than just this.
All righty, here we go. So these are your favorite 4 right here.
Yeah, so as we talked about with Gronk, his incentives today can hit $1 million, and so their props for him are over 6 receptions and 65.5 receiving yards. I was kind of going back and forth with this, and I'm on the receiving yards. What do you think if you had to pick between one of those?
What was the receptions line?
Receptions are 6.
I like them both. I think they're both great. I think the receptions is a little more attainable for like in terms of just like let's force feed him to get that the 500K. I think that's more guaranteed than getting to the 65.5. But if he catches 7 balls, he's probably getting to 65.5.
Yeah. So I was thinking like maybe he gets like a 25-yard reception or 30-yard reception.
He always does down the seam.
Yeah,
Classic.
Exactly. Either way, I like 65.5 receiving yards or 6 receptions. Either or. You can only actually bet the same player once per each one.
Right.
And then my next one is actually my favorite of the day, Gabriel Davis, 35.5 receiving yards. He's gone over this, let me see, 5 of the last 7 games and gets a Jets secondary that gets smashed. Emmanuel Sanders is out. We're doubtful / out. So he should eat. And then Mike Carter is another one. He actually he had the same line last week against like really good Bucs defense, and he hit this on his second series, I believe, and then he actually went out with a concussion. But he's back. The Bills have kind of gotten gashed on the ground recently, and he's surpassed this number in 10 to 13 games this season. And Tyler Huntley kind of looked average last week, which is, I don't really care because it's fantasy, and he still put up his rushing yards. In all 4 of his starts this year, he has 54, 73, 45, and 40 yards on the ground. Lamar put up about, I think it was 60 yards on the Steelers last time, so I like him at 38.5.
Love all those. I don't see which one would miss, to be honest. I think Gronk's like the riskiest, I guess, but with these incentives.
Yeah, he was the only one I was kind of sketchy on. I do have like some random ones. I just listed a bunch at the bottom. Cooper Kupp, if those, we kind of talked about those with his milestones, 9.5 receptions, or he's actually at 114.5 yards most recently. Eli Mitchell over 69.5 rushing yards. Diggs to score a touchdown. Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor over 110. He's hit that every single week, and as you said, he took over 200.
Yeah,
and I like one of yours too, but
yeah. Why don't we go on into these ones then? Darnold Mooney's not 65.5. He's actually 51.5. CJ. So
I thought I saw it on yours. Let me see.
No, that was Mark Andrews was 65.5.
Oh shit! I'll write a little note in the thing.
Yeah. Either way, I actually think Mooney will go over 65.5, but you get him at 51.5, which is even better.
I completely messed up that thing. Then I need to redo that whole post.
Oh yeah. You got the order completely wrong on all of those. So we'll pull that one back up. I'll leave CJ's picks up. And actually, no, I'll just take my share screen off. I'll tell you the ones I love. Hold on one sec. Not
a good multitasker, as we can see.
No. But the ones that I love today, one is Mark Andrews, 65.5. So that's the reason I don't love your Gronk one, CJ, is because I'd rather just go for that line with Mark Andrews, who's been an absolute yardage, just overall machine these last few weeks. Hold on, let me just pull it up. He's gone over that 4 straight weeks. In fact, he's been over 100, I believe, in 4 straight weeks. Let me just I was going to get logged in and try to pull it up here, but I'll just read it off my phone here. So yeah, he's done that in 4 straight weeks, as has Darnell Mooney, been over 51.5, 4 straight weeks. Love that line. Brandon Cooks is 61.5 receiving yards. Tennessee, second most points allowed to receivers on the year. Most behind only the Vikings in deep yardage. So that's why I love Mooney. I also love Brandon Cooks to go deep today, 61.5. I think that's a smash play. He's been over that number in all but 1 game with Davis Mills. He sees a 30% target share with Davis Mills. What's not to love with him going over 61.5? Then you got Kamara at a touchdown. Love it. He's facing Atlanta. He might have 5 touchdowns. So I think that's a great bet. And my last favorite one is Josh Allen, 32.5 rushing yards. I think is an absolute no-brainer. He's been over that in 5 straight weeks, and he gets the Jets defense, the worst run defense in the league. So again, going over on the yards for Mark Andrews, 65.5, Darnell Mooney, 51.5, Brandon Cook, 61.5, Kamara to score a touchdown, and Josh Allen, 32.5 rushing yards. Those are my prize picks of the week. So let me know what you guys think of those. Let me know if you're playing. Remember, code RSJ, get you $100 match. If you do 20 or more dollars, we get a good little kickback. Even if you don't, it just shows we can bring people to the table for prize picks. And they've talked about potentially doing some different partnerships down the road. If we can show, we can bring people to them. So it'd mean the world, Wolfpack. If you want to consider supporting your boys, that is a great way to do it. So other than that, I think that's about all we wanted to do as a show here. Let's get to all your questions. You guys have been very patient. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. I will take the rest of the time to just chat through, one-on-one. We could even have you call in and come on the show with us if you want, because I doubt there's too many people needing help. But let's see here. James Conner or David Montgomery for Ben Waters. Also, is Green Bay sitting Adams? Ben, so do you want me to hit these now, CJ, while you're making the post? I figured,
Yeah, actually, I'm just writing a correction because then I have to delete everything. I don't feel like deleting everything.
Fair enough, but it's a hideous post if everything's fucking wrong. just redo the numbers, dude. It's easy. You slide them on in there. I sent you a screenshot of what the actual numbers are too. But Connor or Montgomery? Good question here for Ben. I would probably lean Montgomery, even though I love Connor's upside against Seattle, especially with no Edmonds. I think it's a great spot for him. But ultimately, Montgomery's been rolling. The 3rd most fantasy points across these fantasy playoffs, the most expected fantasy points across these playoffs. And it's just safer. Like, he's guaranteed to be in there. Whereas Connor might not play. And then suddenly you're resorting to Eno Benjamin. And then you would have been laughing at yourself. Like, I can't believe I didn't go Montgomery after he has 20 plus points at 1 o'clock today. So I love Montgomery. He's one of my favorite plays of the day today. I love his line at 61.5, I think, on prize picks as well, just to keep pumping prize picks. But to me, it's way safer. I'm going Montgomery over James Conner, even with the upside that Conner will have against that team. The 2nd most points allowed to backs. It's just too risky, in my opinion. What if it flares up, right? There's no questions with David Montgomery. And I think this is one, like, I'm starting to lean towards floors more. A good, case study was last week with, Swift versus Rashad Penny. And Penny had been doing it. He'd been great. He also had a good matchup, but it was like, oh, no, Swift, the allure, the upside, the unknown, right? And, it was one of those ones that would have flipped your matchup, whether you went Penny or Swift. So I'm trying to lean a little bit more on safety if it's a close one. And Montgomery's my number 4 running back this week. So all that to say, I definitely go Montgomery here over James Conner. Seamus, hello, my favorite boys. My focus has shifted to the Packers, road to the Super Bowl. Your focus is always the Packers, but I know what a devastating fantasy finish for Seamus. -3 from the Chargers to lose. Oh, awful.
I know. Didn't he finished 3rd in both?
I think, he ended up finishing 3rd because of that. He smashed he would have beat both time finals teams last week too. After finishing 3rd. Go Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have as good of a shot as anyone to win the Super Bowl this year. I think Mike McCarthy's the only thing standing in their way. But that defense with that offense, when they're clicking on both, I look at them as the NFC version of the Chiefs, right? They're winning without their offense for a lot of the time, and now their offense is starting to really hum. I think the Cowboys are deadly this year. They could really make some noise. What do you think of the Cowboys Super Bowl hopes?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think every team kind of sucks this year. There's no clear favorite. The Bucs are a mess. The whole AFC is a mess.
Yeah.
Packers, I guess, right now would maybe be the best team, especially they're getting a lot of guys.
Joke though.
They're getting a lot of guys back too. But yeah, I like the Cowboys. I'd probably put a little future on them if I had to see their numbers, but I'd like a future on them.
I saw a weird stat. I think I sent this to you mid-season where it was the Braves and the Minnesota the Bucks had both won in the same year, and in that same year the Cowboys also won the Super Bowl. All 3 teams were the champions in 3 separate occasions. It was weird. So it could be just history being this weird loop. So yeah, I like the Cowboys. I really do. I think they have as good of a shot as anybody to come out of the NFC there. And guys, as we're answering these questions, if you haven't already, that thumbs up button does continue to help us to grow, get out to more people. Free, easy way to support your boys. And subs, if you haven't already on YouTube, would be so greatly appreciated as well. Need a flex for Eric Underwood, Kirk, Jacobs, or Mitchell, PPR league. I'm leaning Mitchell here. I love Eli Mitchell. Safe floor. I know PPR, not quite the upside of Kirk, but I'd have a real hard time benching Mitchell today. What do you think, CJ? Kirk, Jacobs, or Mitchell?
Sorry, I was just doing that post.
Oh yeah. You
Kirk,
love Eli
Jacobs,
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Yeah, I'm going Mitchell today. Just Garoppolo's finger. I don't even know how he could hold the ball. That's the same injury that Breeze had last year when he missed 6 games, and he's missed one.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he's playing, but I think they're gonna pound Mitchell today, and he's gonna have a good day.
Absolutely. Jair Sandoval, quick question: are you guys going for a playoff challenge next week? Yep. We will be doing our usual fantasy playoff content. So that will be, where and how to play, our team rankings, obviously my player rankings as well, based on my team rankings. I love fantasy playoff action, though. It's like a game within a game. You have to know how far you have to know, but you have to predict what teams you think are going to go far, and then kind of take those players appropriately because you get points for every game they last. There's very interesting formats to do it, like Underdog Best Ball is a great way. I do a league that I love, where you can pick one player per team. And you have a QB, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, like a typical fantasy lineup. And you have to pick one player from every team to fill something. And that's it. So it's pretty awesome too. So we'll go through all those different things, Jair. I will be live going through my rankings and things of that nature next week. No doubt about it. What up, David? Hope you're doing well. The beard is absolute fire. It is. CJ's beard is looking thick as all hell. Love it. The thickness. We need CJ's player prop picks for today. We already gave you those. They're over on Instagram if you missed them. But I love them.
The updated ones are on Instagram now.
Perfect. All right. So let me, so those are CJ's again. I'm just going to refresh the Instagram so we can see the ones that I love as well. So let me pull that back up. Oop, the page is not available because it got taken down. Here we go. Let me pull up the I don't know where profile. Thank you for your patience as we work through these technical difficulties. Here we are. Alrighty. Updated prize picks. Here we go. The corrected versions. Alrighty. So again, you can find us over on Instagram, Roto Street Journal. 65.5 for Gronk, 35.5 for Gabe Davis, 35.5 for Carter, 38.5 for Tyler Huntley. All of those are great. The only one I don't love is Gronk's, only because I don't think he hits it. I think he does, but I personally prefer Mark Andrews, who I know he's not on this one, but 65.5 as well. For Andrews, he's been over that by 20 yards or more in 4 straight weeks. I think smash. 51.5 for Mooney, though. He's been doing that 4 of his last 5. He's done it every single game. Actually, 4 straight, rather, for Mooney. Every single game. Without, we already gave the reasoning, but these are the ones I love as well. Cooks, Kamara to score, Josh Allen, 32.5 on the ground. As I said, Mark Andrews at 65.5. Those are the 5 I'm going on. So those are our favorite prop picks today, David. Let us know what you're betting on, what ones that you love. I'm going to remove that. And Anonymous, you back for questions, CJ?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, let's do it.
So yeah, Mr. Anonymous is asking, start Nick Chubb or Antonio Gibson, and then out of Rashad Penny, McLaurin, Sony Michel for the flex. I mean, probably the other one too, whichever one you pick.
Honestly, I go Gibson, Penny, and Michelle, and I bench Chubb here. I'm nervous on Chubb. I'm a little lower on him. It would suck to bench him and have a classic Chubb day of 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, but I'm below Chubb on ECR by 8 spots. He's the RB8, and I have him at 16 today. So I'm lower on Chubb. I have Gibson at 15. I have Sony at 13. I have Penny at 9. So I have all 3 of those guys above Nick Chubb. So that's where I lean. I certainly don't play McLaurin over any of those guys. But I personally
how many touches do you think Akers will get today?
I don't think it's going to be a ton. I think he'll get 5 or 6. I mean, if he starts and then gets 20 carries, that'd be nuts. It's not impossible, but the fact that he's even playing is just insane. I love it. So good for Cam Akers. What a great story there. But I'm not overly worried. Sony's seen 20 plus carries and I think 4 of his last 5. He's been a beast. So I'm rolling with Sony. I can't bench him in this key matchup here. I'm going Gibson, Penny, Sony, and benching Chubb. If I had to put Chubb in over one of them, it'd be for Gibson, though. What are your thoughts on like those?
Isn't it just start one between these two and then one of the flex?
Potentially. Yeah. Oh, so it's only two guys. I would go Penny and Sony is my favorite too. But if it's two separate leagues, and that's why you're asking Anonymous, I go Gibson and I go Penny out of those options. But if it's to pick two of all those guys, I would go Sony and Penny myself. They're all good options, though. I mean, that's tough. Do you have a favorite two options of all those, that pile?
I think Penny's my lock. Penny's my lock here. And
he
then,
deserves to be. Yeah, he's at 130 yards in 3 of his 4 games. I mean, he's killing it.
I don't know. Chubb against probably what's like a backup defense, I'm guessing, for the Bengals.
It's setting up perfectly, but the Steelers are giving up 6 yards a carry, and they just kept taking him off the field. Like, what if he's not healthy? I don't know. I don't trust Chubb today. I might be – anytime I go against Chubb, he's a monster. So keep that in mind too. Like, he's probably going to go 150 and 2 touchdowns because I'm down on him. But I don't trust him today. I trust Penny more.
Yeah, probably if it's for the start, I'd go Gibson and then Penny for the flex.
Yeah. That's where I lean. Again, it's tough. It's not like Gibson's a lock either. It's a really tough call, Anonymous. But I rank them Penny, then Sony, then Gibson, then Chubb is how I personally rank them. You got to trust your gut on this one. That's tough. They're all top 15 running backs. So interesting.
Denny had a shitty night last night.
Yeah, the Birds had a shitty night, so maybe that's why.
I thought it was like a life.
I hope it's just the Birds and not your life, Denny. Because you're the man.
Oh yeah, his team went up a 50-piece last night.
I know. I wonder where Jeremiah is. I figured he'd be here to talk some shit to you, Denny, but not yet, at least.
Campanelli's asking what our cocktail of the choice is today. I'll be dipping in the claws later, like always.
The White Claws. Yeah, I'll probably have some beers. I got some nice tree houses that I've just been banging into these last couple days, getting the IPA hangover. It's the worst, but it's the only way to cure it is more IPAs.
Tunes, we just hit the prize picks again.
Yeah, we hit them for you. Let us know if you missed it. We're happy to review them again, but I feel really good about both of our 9 picks combined.
A-Game Grizzo, Ramondre, A.J. Dillon, or Keyshawn Vaughn today, PPR.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one, A-Game Grizzo. I don't know. Like, is there any news on the Packers and like what they're planning to do with starters? And because Dillon would be the easy lock, easy smash play if he was starting and guaranteed to play the game. I don't know if we have any type of read on that. I don't know if you want to look into that, CJ.
Just I'm not seeing anything that's like an update right now. I'm just seeing they will play their starters. The game is being approached like any other game, according to the Lions team website.
Jeez, and is Aaron Jones playing? Do we know yet? Is that official?
I'm not sure about that. I'll look up on Twitter either.
I don't know. So keep that in mind. They say they're going to play their starters. I don't buy it. I'm nervous of any Packers right now, unless we get some.
Aaron Jones is inactive.
So he's inactive. That does help out Dillon. I still think. Oh, do you want to look up who their third string running back is? Because
I did earlier, and it was a disgusting name. Let me see.
It used to be Kylan Hill, but I know he got destroyed on a kickoff. And
no, it's someone disturbing. Patrick Taylor Jr. I have no idea who that is.
It's probably 4K on DraftKings. I wouldn't be shocked to see Patrick Taylor Jr. get a touchdown and like 80 yards if he gets anything meaningful against. I don't even know who he is. Don't know what type of talent he is, but it doesn't really matter against the Lions. You don't have to be good to run.
So I do have some like Field Yates news.
Yeah.
Officially active Jared Goff, David Bakhtiari is back. So he's playing. Julio Jones is active, sick. And then officially inactive, T. Higgins is inactive. Jamar Chase is playing, so it does sound like what you were talking about earlier, where he's going to come in and get like his what did you say he needed?
I think it's 11 yards.
Yeah, probably get like a slant, get 15, and get out of there.
I would not be trusting him today.
Aaron Jones is inactive. Penei Sewell is inactive, and Kareem Hunt is inactive.
Okay, so again, maybe that helps out Chubb a bit that he's off the injury report. If he gets a full workload against the Bengals backups, I mean, he could go nuts. So it's a really tough situation to get a read on here. He has, and again, right on cue, Jabari Kidd. You have Chubb. You don't know what to do with him. Like I said, I'm pretty nervous about him, but I'm like nervous about being nervous about him too. Like I think you can make me look like a complete idiot. It just takes one run. They're not a great run D as is, and now with the second string unit potentially, I'm not all in. I don't know. I'm not. It depends who your other option is. For example, Jabari, if you're thinking Burkhead over Chubb, then you might have to go get checked out. That's insane. Like, you can't go Burkhead over Chubb. I do think Burkhead could have like an okay day because he certainly has some incentives today. He has 200,000, something like that on the line. Maybe fouls in the end zone, but I would not be going Chubb. I would not be going Burkhead over Chubb in any universe, though, if that's the question. So let us know who you have, Jabari, instead of Chubb, and we can try to help you break that down. Dan Heggs, you making want to puke in your soccer jersey. I kind of agree. It's football still. Football season.
Yeah. Hey, the real football, as they say.
I know. Come on. Disgusting. Elias did not have a question as of right now, but let's continue forward.
I do have Field Yates actually tweeted some more records that we already know. But did you mention Waddle needs 3 catches for the rookie record?
No, I did not know that one. So I could see him he always gets that anyways. So I actually, A-Game Grizz, I want to go back to your question. I feel like we didn't answer that for you. So hopefully you stuck around after we ignored you because we were looking at A.J. Dillon and then what his workload is. So again, no Aaron Jones. If we get 20 carries of A.J. Dillon, like that could be a monstrous performance. I just am so skeptical. It's tough. It's like, is it a preseason game or do we get what the Cowboys did last night? And, 3 of 4 quarters are their starters until they're completely blowing them out. If that's the case, then Dillon's going to go nuts. It's not Ramondre for me. It comes down to Dillon or Keyshawn Vaughn for me.
I'm going with
Ramondre's
Dillon.
great in games like the Jags where we're going to kill them and kind of bleed clock all day. So, I don't know that the Dolphins game is going to be that. I don't expect it to be. So I'm leaning Dillon or Vaughn, and I kind of lean Vaughn, but with Jones inactive, I don't know. What do you have any time? This one has me in a blender, CJ. Can you offer any clarity?
I'm going Dillon. It was like I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they sat Aaron Rodgers and he was pissed off about it. And he was like, we need momentum going into the playoffs. I feel like they're going to play. they're playing Bakhtiari, who's been out all season. And so they're just throwing him right into the starting lineup. I mean, they're taking this game pretty seriously.
That makes more sense to me, though, to get his feet under him, get him some snaps. I don't think Bakhtiari is going to even play the full game. I think he's just going to kind of get in there and get hitting again. That makes sense to me. Rodgers only makes sense to me in the sense that he has a couple contract incentives, but most of them are completion percentage, which is already sky high. Interception percentage, he's not going to be not outside the top 3. There's no stats he can compile, I don't think, that will get him more.
I just think he doesn't like sitting out of games.
Yeah.
I think he thinks it fucks up whatever he's doing.
Maybe. I'm leaning,
especially because they have the bye next week, so he doesn't want to be off for 2 weeks.
Right. I'm going to lean A.J. Dillon here. I do. I get what you're saying, and the Cowboys do have me a little more maybe teams will play their starters. I'm going to go A.J. Dillon, especially as the starter now. Even if he only plays a half against the Lions, he'll probably get to 100 yards, in a half.
Yeah, and maybe, if not, maybe 65 and a touchdown.
Exactly. He's going to score a touchdown for you today. So I feel good about him. I feel better than I do about Ramondre. Keyshawn Vaughn would be my next one up, but I go Dillon. I go Dillon here. A-Game Grizzo. So sorry again, I didn't mean to skip through that and go over to Jabari. But again, Jabari, now with no Kareem Hunt, I do feel a little bit better about Chubb. I think I actually, and I want to go, I know we're bouncing around a bit today. It's one of those weird shows with anonymous, Chubb or Gibson. I kind of want to go Chubb now with Kareem Hunt officially out because we do see, 3 to 4 targets go his way. I think the offense will just be better with Case Keenum. And Chubb, I think, is just going to be a good bet to find the end zone. So I am bumping Chubb actually above Sony now, above Gibson. And I'm going back and saying I feel pretty good about Chubb. He's running back 13 for me. Maybe that's even too low, to be honest. I'm not going to put him below Devonta Foreman.
The Bengals have completely quit on this game. So
yeah, exactly. So I think Chubb's in a really good spot today. So I'm gonna bump Chubb up. The more and more I think about it, maybe that bites me in the ass because I was so much lower on him, and now I'm right in line with the ECR. But I'm going to Chubb. I like Dillon on that other one, A-Game Grizzo. Let's get on back over to here.
Akeem Ahmed is asking Keyshawn Vaughn, Pirine, or Dillon.
I'm getting a lot of Pirine, starting for Mixon, all that, but it's one, not a great player. He's not that good. 2, it's a backup offense, with no Burrow. So in 3, I don't know that Perine's a lock to just get like a ton of work either, just because he is the backup to Mixon. And given that they're kind of punting the game, they might keep him healthy for the playoffs with Mixon banged up with COVID. So I don't think Perine's the lock that a lot of people do. I'm going to go back to the Dillon well here and say AJ Dillon over these 3, Vaughn or Perine. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dillon.
Sweet. Chill Will. Is this Willard or is this a different one?
No,
Chillard,
I think he's
Willard, right?
Yeah, Chillard.
Okay.
So this is Chill Will. He's asking Cousins or Huntley.
I'm gonna lean Cousins. Bears aren't that great of a defense. It's the last game potentially for Mike Zimmer. So letting it all hang out, I could see Cousins kind of slinging it around today in his return from COVID. So I go Cousins over Huntley. Do you agree with that one, CJ?
Yeah, I'd go with that. I mean, the Steelers still have something to play for. Huntley kind of fell back to earth a bit last week. So I'm going Cousins.
Awesome. And guys, I'm seeing some new names out here. I love it. Awesome. If you consider, 1, giving it a thumbs up, helping us get out to more people, it'd be so appreciated. But 2, help us get to that 2K goal. We're very close. Every subscriber does help and continues just to grow our channel and our reputation. We'd be so appreciated, guys. And we'd love to see you at more shows. So consider subscribing if you like the content, what you hear, and you want to get your questions answered. We go live multiple times a week just to talk with you guys and answer your questions. That's kind of the goal.
And staying on Kirk Cousins for a second, he has like a $38 million cap hit next year.
Oh my God.
That's really disgusting. So I don't know if they can get out of it, but this could be his last game in Minnesota. Who knows?
Yeah. Jeez. I could see him go. Yeah. I'm trying to think where he would land, but we can speculate on that later. Yeah. He's like just racks up stats, but just never gets it done in my opinion.
He started the season like 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Anyone else that was doing that would be like, oh my God, MVP. It's like, no, this guy stinks.
No, it's Cousins. Yeah, exactly.
Brian Elder's asking Damian Harris or Stevenson.
I think I'm going Harris. I know he's questionable coming in today, but he's been questionable all year. He's the starter. He gets the first crack at everything. And if it's a competitive game, he'll probably be leaned on even more than usual. So I go Harris over Stevenson. Do you agree with that, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like the Patriots, they are sitting some people on defense, so they may not be going like full out for this game because I feel like they're kind of locked into their spot. But I'd still go Harris here. Even it's a tough matchup, but I'd go Harris.
Looks like Jeremiah was in the same boat as you last night, CJ.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Painful.
Especially because the Cowboys hit theirs in like the second drive. So,
yeah, and I'm sure Jeremiah, Cowboys fan, was peppering those ones like you did. He probably looked at our post and maybe did the same exact thing as you.
Yeah, then just the rest of the game, just like scrolling like the stats, like reload.
What was it? It was going to be 30 for 300 or something like that. Is that what you had in?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that would have been a nice little Saturday present. Eddie Sanchez.
MP is asking Huntley or Hill.
I love Hill today. I'm definitely going Taysom in that battle against the Falcons. Pathetic, and they have so much on the line today. So
yeah, doesn't he? Yeah. He usually hammers the Falcons too, doesn't he?
He's gone over 20 every time he's faced him as the starter. So yeah.
Yeah, he's in the losers game because of the consolation ladder.
There you go. Good luck, MP. Hope you take it down.
Jeremiah,
here's the trash talk I was hoping for. There we are. I was wondering when Jeremiah would show up to talk some shit to Denny. That's what I like.
There's a likely, is it going to be another Cowboys-Eagles matchup? Do you know?
It could be. I think there's a good likelihood of it. I think the Eagles are supposed to like almost be guaranteed to face the Bucs though, but now it all depends on how everything goes today. But they could end up meeting up again. Yeah.
Oh, the MP said the Dare is wearing a 2-piece in New York City.
Oh, I like this.
Hey, we need some photos of it happening.
Yeah, we got to get some documentation of whoever ends up doing that. I actually lost a bet in the third place game last week. I'll be wearing a woman's 1-piece down at the beach this summer. So that's going to be great. I couldn't turn down the opportunity, CJ. I was facing Dave Mock, and I was just picturing Mock crammed into a woman's 1-piece, and I was getting horny, to be honest. I wanted to see that happen, but sadly, I'm 0 for like 10 in side bets with him. I always lose the side bets every time I go for it, and this was no different.
He's on a heater too, so that was the wrong
bad choice. Terrible choice by me. So yeah, we're both in the bathing suit business here, MP. Yeah, I like you. I hope you have a good chance, man, and hopefully Taysom Hill brings you the goods.
Craig Dupe is asking if Green Bay will cover the Lions spread. There,
what is it, 12.5 or something like nuts?
No, it's under 6, I believe.
See, these are the types of things where it's like, it's so tough to know. You just got to pick, like, are they going to commit to starters for 3 quarters or not? I think they do, given what we've kind of talked about. Rodgers was pissed last year. They have some incentives. And even if not, it's still the fucking Lions and how bad they are. So you said it was 6.5?
Let me check right now. Right. It is 4.
4? Oh yeah. I think Green Bay definitely, like, even if Rodgers sat the whole game, I think they cover that. That reminds me of Rodgers plays
similar to last night. The Cowboys, like, yesterday morning, it was like 7.5. And then, like, people were saying, oh, I don't know, like Jalen Hurts, blah, blah, dropped down to 3. And then it went back to 7. And then ended up closing around like 8 or 8.5, I think. So yeah, just these are a mess. This week sucks.
It's such a tough week, but I think this is one where it's like, even if worst case and they bench all their starters right after the first drive, I still think they cover it. So I'm going Green Bay definitely there. Would you agree? Would you go Green Bay 4?
Yeah, I was just doing a little like 5-team. Me and Ty are talking about a little parlay, and we're gonna do a money line, but we put them in there.
Yeah, they'll cover 4.
Campanelli says Prize Picks is not on New Jersey, which is weird because
they have TK, they have the sports books.
They have the sports books.
That sucks. Yeah, hopefully that gets changed.
Dane Jennings back to Jeremiah Moore. Sanders and Howard will run all over whoever they play.
Yeah, there you go.
A-game Grizzo, Callaway or Zay Jones?
I like Callaway a lot today. He's been getting peppered by Taysom. I think across the last 2 starts by Taysom, I saw the stat on fantasypoints.com while I was reading some DFS stuff. Callaway averages nearly 30% target share across his last couple starts with Taysom Hill. He's got like over 15 PPR points, which is what you're playing in all those games. I really like Callaway. Plus he gets the Falcons. You know, I get Zay Jones has also been kind of sneaky good these last few weeks, but to me, it's definitely Callaway. I'm pretty high on Callaway. Actually, my rankings don't reflect that. I'm going to change that right now. I think Callaway has a big day today. Do you feel any differently?
Talking about Zay Jones, Waller is expected to play tonight. Yeah,
so another reason why. Oh, so did that come out recently?
Yeah, Schefter just tweeted.
Oh, okay, nice.
Retweeted Diana Rossini that her source says Waller is expected to play.
Gotcha. I'm bumping Chase down in my rankings. I had him at like 23. No way. He's going to play. He's going to catch 1 ball and then be out. I'll put him below Jamar Chase below Cyril Grayson. That's just like sickening. But that's how I feel today. I'm bumping Callaway up ahead of I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more like Devontae might play a little bit. So I'm bumping him up just to like 35, 36. But no, I like Callaway a lot today. I have him above Landry, probably above AJ Green. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Callaway today, above Van Jefferson for me. I think Callaway has a great game, Grizzo, so I would roll with it.
Campanelli, 1 weekend we have to hang out with Denny and go nuts. I agree. We need this summer in like June or July or something. We need to do something.
As Denny aptly says as a follow-up to that, bring the bail money. We got to win on Prize Picks today, so we have bail money ready. We'll start a bail money fund because, yes, I 100% agree. That would be the time. I can't wait to meet everybody, the regular Wolfpack legends here. If we all get together someday, the world might combust.
I wonder if the Patriots get the Eagles next year.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, either you guys got to come up here for that or we got to come down there. We'll figure it out, but we will all meet soon enough.
I feel like they definitely haven't played in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Jones is out today. Yeah, we covered that. I mean, I feel pretty good about Dylan. It's such a tough situation because could he play a series and be sat? Yes, but even if he gets 1 full series, he might get like 40 yards and a touchdown on just that series. So I feel pretty good about Dylan in your question, Grizzo.
Andres Ayala is asking standard league in the finals. Start 1 running back, 2 receivers, and 1 flex. Adams, obviously going to lock in Adams. And then
I don't know about that though, right? Because I don't know. Not over. I think Pittman, Gabriel Davis, like Kirk, are all guaranteed more snaps than like Adams. He's 20 yards away from Jordy Nelson's record. I could see this definitely being the Devonta Smith. He gets the 20 yards and he's out. Like the Jamar Chase factor. I'm really
I need to do some research on the Packers. Give me a second.
It's a really tough situation. I'm not locking in Adams. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction to be like, yep, lock in Adams and then continue on. But I don't think so today. I would go Pittman against the Jags, Gabriel Davis against the Jets, a great spot. And I love Christian Kirk. So we need 2 of these receivers. I would probably go Kirk and Pittman, I think. What do you think?
See, especially with my prize picks, I love Gabe Davis.
I do too. They're great options, Andres.
So
who would you bench out of them?
I would. Well, I want to look into the Adams situation, but if we aren't going with Adams, I would go with Gabe Davis and Pittman probably.
Yeah. I go Davis. I go Kirk and Pittman myself is where I lean for this one. If we get word that Adams is expected to play a full half, I might even change my tune. Like a half of Adams is better than anybody. Like he put 20 in the first half last week. So 20 a half against Detroit would change that. But I am just really nervous that Adams plays even a quarter today. Of those running backs, I like Foreman a lot today. He's got over 103 of his 4 games. He gets Houston the most rushing yards allowed in the league this year. I think he's a smash. It sucks with Darrell Williams what happened last night. Yeah, that blows. Got hurt early. But, Patterson's been just nothing these last few weeks, so I'm hesitant to go there, and I can't trust Swift right now. So I'm definitely going Foreman of the running backs, and I personally go Pittman and Kirk for the receivers. But like CJ said, Gabe Davis is in a great spot too, and Adams is Adams. That's really tough, Andres. But give me Pittman, give me Kirk, give me Foreman there. True. We got a lawyer on our side if we get arrested. That's good to know. Yeah, you're welcome, A-Game. And here we go.
And Chillwell's asking Dare or Zay Jones. All the Zay Jones questions today.
Yeah, weird. I'd probably go Dare. I know the Jags obviously suck, but PPR-wise, game script, we saw it last week. He's got a touchdown in 2 straight weeks. The Colts, a good defense, but he could catch 5-6 balls late. He's kind of game script proof. He's the only one standing here at this point. So I'm going Dare here. What do you think?
Yeah, especially with Waller back. I'm going Dare.
Could you look up for me, CJ? Is Dan Arnold playing today? I know this is a weird question, but he's only 2,500 on DraftKings, and we saw him catch 6 balls in almost every game this year. So he was on the IR, and I thought he was going to get activated this week, but he might not be. I have him in a lineup, is why I'm really selfishly asking you to check here. But check that out.
3 hours ago, nope, he's not.
Oh, he's not activated? All right.
No, it wasn't activated.
I got to change that. Gronk's receiving yards bumped to 69.5. So, yeah,
Gronk,
nice
69.
number. Gronk is 69. You got to hammer the over there. But, yeah, I think he's going to go for those records with Brady today. So, I like that. I like that bet a lot.
Wolfpack at a stadium, Taylor. The stadium will implode at one point.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Denny, let me know what beach. You sicko. You want to see this thing crammed into a one-piece? Disturbed individual. But no, maybe that's when we all get together, is when I put on a one-piece. You guys can all come hang out at the beach in Beverly. Yeah, that'd be lovely. I don't know what beach yet. Thankfully, the parameters, we didn't establish what the winner gets to pick the beach and the day and the time, because that would have been awful. It would have been 4th of July, Miami Beach, one woman's one piece go. But no, we can kind of be at my choosing. I'm not going to be an asshole and go at 6 a.m. when no one's there and be like, haha, I got out of it. You got to own it.
Yeah, you need to do Memorial Day weekend.
Oh God. The first beach day of the year. Just come on out, gross out everybody, hide the kids. Yeah, the stadium would implode. And you're welcome, Andres. Thanks for being here. PDQ. That would be a great weekend. Wolf, an RSJ Airbnb, just burn the house down at that point. I love it. That'd be great. Alrighty, guys. I think that's everything we got. So thanks so much. Seeing so many regulars on a Sunday. Awesome to see you. Can't forget our bot comment coming in here at the end. Thank you, bots, for being here. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to hit me up at Roto Street Wolf. I'm going to be going and finalizing my DFS stuff. I just updated the rankings, so I'm going to get those up on the site here at rotostreetjournal.com. Green Feed Fantasy Wolves. If you have anything else you need to check, go check those on out. And I think that's about it. Next week, as we were talking about, we will be doing playoff content. So we'll probably do, I think me and Nat were talking about maybe doing an award show on Monday to kind of recap all of 2021. And then I'll do a solo ranking show for the playoffs. But all that content will be at rotostreetjournal.com if you're doing playoff fantasy, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. The game within the game, you have to predict who goes far and what players will be propelling that. I won a lot of money last year because I went all in on the Bucks. I just, obviously always
Yeah,
Brady.
stacking the team that you think is going to go all the way is.
Yeah, I had Brady Evans stacks in my underdog, so I won, a smooth 100 at the end of the year with that. I ended up winning 100 on you could pick only one player from a team. I did Brady as my QB, and very few other people did that, so I shot up the rankings because of that. So, we're running hot these last couple of years on our playoff content. It does really come down to what teams you go all in on. As a sneak peek preview, what teams do you think are going to meet in the Super Bowl, CJ? Who would you want to be betting on in playoff fantasy?
Honestly, it's chalky, but I like the Packers this year. Rodgers has turned me into a believer. It took 15 years, but I finally did it. I would go Packers, and the AFC is such a mess. I'll go Buffalo, I guess. I don't really love anyone. It's a coin flip in the AFC.
It's one of those things too. Is I don't even really believe in Buffalo that much, but you also want to keep in mind what offenses, if they do play, Buffalo could play 4 weeks, and that offense, if you have Allen and Diggs, would be nasty for 4 weeks of stats. So that is part of it too. Even if I don't fully believe in Buffalo, I think the Pats, if they match up week 1, might beat them. But it's still one of those offenses. If you're trying to win the whole thing, you got to pick, okay, which team, if I get multiple games, a Dak Prescott, the way he's rolling right now, I could see them getting hot. I would, if I had my choice of team, you look at the Cardinals, right? Kyler Murray, you could bet on. Maybe Derrick Henry and the Titans. It's so exciting this year.
I do like the Titans. I like the Titans a lot.
Yeah, so that's, obviously Tannehill's not that exciting, but A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, that's how you want to attack these games. Whether it's, unless it's one of those games where you can only pick one player per team, then you want your quarterback and your, the big scoring positions to be that team you think is going to go all the way. But underdog, you can kind of stack multiple teams. I'm kind of leaning Cowboys. I hate Mike McCarthy though, so I don't love it, but I think Cowboys and AFC is a mess, but it's got to be the Chiefs, Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek.
Trying to be different.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think that's the team that's going to go all the way. But even the Bengals, right? So many fun offenses. That's why fantasy playoffs are going to be really fun this year.
Yeah,
if you get the right teams, for sure. Tunes giving us one last comment to sign off here. Love it. Baby Tunes in 4 weeks, man. I love it.
Great woman.
Yes, there you go. That's an awesome move. Yeah, make sure it's out for the Super Bowl. You guys can be home for it. That's awesome. You got yourself a keeper there, Tunes. Well done. Congratulations, too. I can't wait to see what the Baby Tunes looks like. Going to come out with a beard, I'm sure. A beard and a hunting rifle. Baby Tunes is how I'm picturing it. But man, we'll have to get our baby clothes lineup for you, Tunes, so we can send you some RSJ onesies for your baby. Merch drop will be, I know I keep saying week after week. Next week it's coming, but we have everything pretty much designed. We're just trying to get the store up. So we will see, hopefully next week. Might not be till next year. Who knows at this point, but we got some great stuff designed at least. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out and chatting ball with us. Best of luck in all your bets. Prize Picks will sign you off with that. If you haven't already, prizepicks.com or Prize Picks app, code RSJ, deposit 20 or more. We get a little kickback and so appreciated, but they'll match up to $100. We gave you some locks today. If you missed them, go check out our Instagram, Road to Street Journal. And I feel so good about all those. The only one that's not on our Instagram that I also love is 65.5. Mark Andrews. I think it's a smash play today. So check out those props, those Prize Picks. Code RSJ again. Get you a $100 match, and would be so appreciated. So thanks again for being here. Come on back next week for our playoff content. I'm the Wolf.
I'm CJ. Good luck, everyone. Send us your winners if we win any money for you. Some screenshots.
Yeah, let us know if you win. Absolutely. Some social proof would be appreciated. Cheers, guys. Best of luck. Somebody take down the million today. I'll take it down, but you guys can get it 100,000. That's fine. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, we sure do.